Bonus time! This is your Patreon exclusive laser tab bonus time, and the soundboard is broken. Anybody do the Windows 10 thing?
I did.
Yeah?
It's been okay so far. I didn't break my computer, my laptop, so that's good.
It's weird. I'll do it for this awful laptop, but I don't think I'm going to do it for my main computer.
But I mean, Windows 8,
computer.
But Windows 8 sucks. Like,
I have more computers than I ever thought I would. I just realized I have two desktops. That's insane.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what being a professional podcaster is.
I guess.
What did I say? I wrote somewhere that I wouldn't be a professional podcaster without X, and now I can't remember who I said that about. Oh, well.
Probably me.
Boy.
JK, bro. Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Dave.
You knew that.
We should.
I'm Henry.
I want this to be the show that we never introduce ourselves.
That's last week's show. For some reason, was so fun that you and Graham and Brett were coming over, and I didn't have time to I didn't have time to plan.
Oh yeah. What? Okay. Yeah. Well, you can't tell me what.
Well,
tell me what the subject
I had
is
so much fun with last week's bonus time. Because I can't tell you how afraid I am of just winging a show and just talking without notes and plans. I'm terrified, and I'm like, well, maybe we can do something like that, and something will just come to us. And we knew we wanted to talk about Piper, and I thought, well, I'll do a show about villains, and meanwhile, I have like about an hour to plan like a show about I can't do that. Yeah, because what I did this weekend was take 13 bags of clothing and game memorabilia to Goodwill.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's so weird. Like glancing in your room because it's right by the entrance to this apartment. I'm like, wow, I can see your floor.
You can see the floor. I mean, there's still like. What do you do with like when you buy a TV or a computer? Do you just throw away the box immediately?
I fold it up and put it in like a closet because or you know what? I may still just be on the first box that I got with my first TV because like I will give away that TV, like the first TV I got, I gave it away. Just put it in the box with the new TV. But I think I still have the old one somewhere because you want to have it in case
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with that kind of shit. But like I think my warranty's up. I can throw this Dell laptop box away. By the way, like it came from Amazon, free shipping with Prime. It came in a casket-sized box, and I've never had anything like that shipped to me before.
Well, speaking of Amazon Prime, I got a giant box from Amazon Prime because I tried out Prime Pantry it was the only thing that was useful during the horrible Prime Day sale, which was for Prime Pantry you could get free shipping on a $60 box instead of like whatever it costs to fill up your box. But yeah, so I ate a lot of Handy Snacks this weekend.
Yeah?
I bought like 3 things of Handy Snacks. I was like, yeah, this is cheap.
The hell are Handy Snacks?
This
is the one with the
it's the fake cheese and the red stick. So with the red stick?
Yeah, with the red stick. Yeah. Classic red stick. Because I had never seen those Handy Snacks anymore. They don't have them around here. So
they're disgusting, and adults don't eat those.
Well, now they're double branded because they're Kraft. They were always Kraft Handy Snacks, but now they're Ritz crackers within Kraft Handy Snacks.
This is what happens when National Allied Biscuit owns everything.
Yeah, was it on The Simpsons where somebody was eating a Handy Snack and their thing broke?
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. Right into the show and tell Dave, give Dave the answer.
Help me find this reference.
I think I've seen people. I feel like on The Simpsons they broke. No, I'm just imagining a ring coming off a pudding can.
Yeah.
Similar.
Take my
pen.
Jesus,
my good man.
And tripping over it.
I mean, when I put the cheese on Handy Snacks, that is when I was doing it this weekend. It did bring back memories of being a very nervous 10-year-old who would say like, I have to portion out this cheese correctly, else I won't have enough cheese for that last cracker.
Why don't I throw away all the crackers and just suck the cheese out with my face?
I still like the crackers.
Can I do that nowadays with salsa? Like, if I pour myself some salsa, I'm going to use all the salsa.
You'd be surprised how many times salsa is my dinner. That's
simply salsa.
Don't do a lot of shopping. There's never a clean fork in the house. Don't do a lot of cooking. Wait. I was nervous. Awkward moment this weekend. Not the one you're thinking of, Dave.
Okay.
But the one where Roddy Piper died.
Yes.
And that was a huge. I don't know. I wasn't traumatized by it because I expected soon.
There's been too many.
Someday soon I'll expect Roddy Piper to die of natural causes because he doesn't look well.
No.
And he hurt himself for 40 years of his life. I in an interview in his documentary he mentions wrestling a bear. I need to see this footage. I need to see it.
They didn't film that shit back then.
So we watched They Live, and I brought over I had a half finished pint of whiskey, and I got an Uber home, and Heidi's like, here, and I just didn't touch it. I had like 2 sips, and I sit down in this Uber, and like whiskey goes everywhere. And it was like, God, I am so sorry. Like, I'm not hammered. Like, I did. Look, I hate to be this asshole, but I think I just spilled a shitload of whiskey in the back of your car. So like, I'm trying to clean it up, and meanwhile you can tell he's pissed, but he's being nice about it because Uber makes them under like not. Yeah, he's got to get his 5 stars or he's fired. So I'm just like also kind of placating and listening to everything he's saying. Like, oh yeah, you're from there. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, you've been doing this for. And then I didn't even notice. And like, wait, you should have taken 2 exits ago. It's like, oh shit. Hopefully, there's another exit. Now this is the thing people complain about when you get. I like Uber's prices, almost nothing else about them, and especially that. They are not professional drivers. I hope there's another exit. There was not, and we headed onto the Bay Bridge. On the way home at 1 in the morning. I know that's local stuff, but like,
well, the Bay Bridge means you can't exit again for like about 15 minutes or something.
Yes. Yeah. So we ended up
and like you have to double back over the bridge.
Does that count in your price?
No, he shut it off. But it was like I'm like. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Like, no, I don't feel bad about spilling liquor anymore. Like, this is great. This is the best thing you could have done. We're even. We're like, I have terrible pictures of it. He started driving at about 100 miles an hour on the bridge, and Heidi was terrified. I'm like, this is the greatest thing that could have happened tonight. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. But I was saying I almost visited you on accident. At 1 in the morning on Saturday.
I would have been. I might have been asleep or playing Devil Survivor 2 for the 3DS, which I played a lot of that this weekend. Since I won't be. We don't do a What You've Been Playing segment on VGA, and I wouldn't be on it anyway. I played a shitload of that game. If you guys ever have played a Shin Megami game, which you probably haven't, but
nope.
And same with do you like tactics games like Final Fantasy Tactics and
not really.
Tactics Ogre and Fire
Emblem? I don't like them because I do get sucked into them, and I always kind of regret how much time I've sunk into essentially moving around. I paid $50 to move around tiny little game pieces.
Well, how do you like the Shinkansen in Japan, the bullet train?
I do.
Well, the game is an ode to the bullet train.
I love the bullet train. Wow, I have one of those I've shot in November that needs to go up.
It's what I love about playing this game because it all takes place in real Tokyo today. Except then the apocalypse happens, but it's in Tokyo. And so you take like a super bullet train to go to Osaka and Nagoya. And also, like, just walking around. Like, I had a fight in Asakusa, which is the place with the big red lantern. You went there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this was the first time since I visited Asakusa I'd played the game, and getting in the stage, I was like, oh shit, I've been here. Hey, this is cool. Woo.
So I need to giving you appropriate music.
Okay. But, and the action's a ton of fun, and it's like Pokemon in that you collect demons, but you also then fuse the demons together to make new demons, and you're constantly, it's all about demon breeding and like saving the best traits to then pass up and pass up and pass up along. Like, it is so addicting. This is the second time I played it because this is the remake of 2, and I put 53 hours into this one. And once I beat it, then I'll be able to play the epilogue, which is 40 more hours of Devil Survivor.
All right, I guess you got your money's worth.
So I don't play many games these days, but the ones I do play, I play for dozens of hours.
I hope everybody... Is there still time to get Rocket League?
I think by the time they hear this, no.
Oh, dude, if you didn't get it, you just fucking buy it. Like that's. I have not had a game give me such an NBA Jam vibe where like everybody all of a sudden cares about this sport.
Yeah, it's crazy how popular it's been.
It's so much fun, but like there's not a lot of multiplayer games that offer you like that quick a taste. Like jump in at most you have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you guys read about the?
I can't have Spirit Tracks music.
By the way, did you guys read about the Konami thing?
Yeah,
that's
brutal.
Like nuts. That Nikkei in Japan wrote about this big investigation of like ever since 2010 when they had success with their first mobile thing. It just was like we spent less on this than any console game, and it made us 10 times the money.
So let's put all our eggs in this basket and fuck everybody else.
Exactly. And the sad story was of like these old producers just being like, you don't get laid off in Japan apparently, but they just give you a job that is shameful or horrible.
They try and shame you out of the job, and not saying I can relate, but you know.
and there were stories of like guys who had worked on major producers on major games. They didn't name the games, but they said these producers of major games were working in like the pachinko factory.
Yeah, or security guards. Wow. Developers working as security guards.
Do they get to keep their salary and like get fewer hours? That'd be great.
That's the thing. I think they can't take away your salary, but they can make you do.
They can just embarrass you.
You should quit. You should quit.
Feel
I'll give you every reason to quit.
But then also, it's like if those guys are like lifers and worked there 20 years, like they might be thinking, "What? I can't go anywhere else." Like
nobody needs this skill anymore.
Namco won't hire me. Capcom maybe won't. Where am I supposed to go? Yeah, and and then also just like the further confirmation that Kojima was like, they just didn't. Kojima was spending more money than they wanted to, and they finally just said, "We're not going to spend this money anymore. We're just going to ship this."
It's a huge amount of money to spend on a game.
It is.
It's already over its $80 million budget.
I mean, I always felt that way, like that Kojima was the last of the cowboys, because he's like, "I'll just spend whatever I can. I'm a Japanese producer with seniority. I'll spend all the money I want. Delay it again.
Basically, Kickstarter is there to help Japanese developers.
That is now what it is.
Their games on budget.
Well, except for
Red
Ash. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I'm talking about these things because I won't be on VGA this week. But that Red Ash thing was pretty dumb too. Just the just fucking ship Mighty Number 9 first. Just
how incomplete can it be?
Yeah,
it doesn't look that demanding. And I don't. We'll talk about that on Video Game Apocalypse. Who here thinks they saw a better movie than me this week?
I saw a train wreck.
But how was Trainwreck?
It made me realize that I don't think I'll ever love another Judd Apatow movie. Really? I'll just like them all. Like, I liked this movie.
I like the idea of him being our generation's Woody Allen.
Yeah.
They're rough around the edges, but you know what you're getting. Like, I think Wes Anderson's kind of the same thing.
That's the difference. I'd say Woody Allen stuff is never rough around the edges. It's honestly too rehearsed and
a little bit. It's too formulaic.
Oh, it is so formulaic. Like, white people with rich problems and they're all fucking each other, the moral problems of rich New Yorkers, or San Franciscans recently. But anyway, what about Trainwreck though?
Well, it's not quite as bad as This Is 40, but it's got the same issue where there's stuff they should have just cut. Like, this is over 2 hours, which is a bit too long for a comedy, and there's a bunch of scenes where like Amy Schumer says basically 3 replies to the same thing. But
that's what I fucking hated about This Is 40, because I was like, pick one. I know you like all the improv, but just fucking
why do we watch those movies thinking they're not going to do what they're known for, and that they should
save that for the director's cut?
I feel like we're all trained to be critics, but it's like this is funny, but it's not a good movie. I'm like, relax. Maybe it doesn't have to be that kind of movie. We're aware we're watching like really funny people improv. It's okay if they go long.
But I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it was cut right, because there was at least one time where I saw a character in a scene that said nothing, and this was this was an actor or this person that I recognize and know is funny. I've seen this person be funny in other things.
LeBron James?
No, he's got a lot of dialogue. And he's really good. He's one of the best parts of the movie.
That's the big takeaway I keep hearing.
Every scene he's in is great. Him and John Cena, like athletes, are taking over. And they also, during the trailers before that, they had Sisters, which is Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. And John Cena has another Against type role in that too.
He's a drug dealer or something, right?
Yeah, he's got like a neck tattoo.
Jesus.
And he's like he's telling, I think, Amy Poehler, like, it's Tina Fey who's the bad sister. He tells her, like, my safe word is keep going.
But, okay. Really good. Nobody technically saw a better movie than me.
I want to say, before we get off Trainwreck, I did read a funny tweet about Trainwreck 2 that said, I love this is from Tom Sharpling, the podcast Best Show. But he said, I love Trainwreck, but I think there was a coffee cup that could have been played by a stand-up comedian, because he said, like, he was implying that every minor character in it was played by a stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving his book right now. Just that, like, Judd Apatow has a book that he put out with a bunch of interviews with a billion funny people. Not even through like the fucking ease at this point. And it's not only is he releasing it for free, or like he's all the proceeds are going to charity.
Right.
These are interviews he's collected, starting with his interview with Jerry Seinfeld that he did when he was 15 years old, because he was just such a comedy nerd and wants to talk about comedy and do comedy things and stay busy and just he loves comedy and comedians so much, and I love that there's a person like him out there.
That's why I don't want to hate on Judd Apatow, because I can identify a ton of stuff with him, and maybe that's also why I get frustrated with him, because I imagine, well, if I was Judd Apatow, I'd do this, because I feel so many similarities, even though like Judd Apatow gets everything done and does every fucking thing.
Well, I will say, like in a traditional comedy, like even more of your favorite funny people would be horribly underused. They would have like 4 seconds to shine on screen.
I mean, that's what Lauren Lapkus was,
and we know what the Judd Apatow players are capable of because he lets them play in an unscripted way. I like that.
Yeah, but I just sense that there was so much tapes for this, or recorded for this movie, that like there's like 1 or 2 actors that just don't get any screen time whatsoever, and I see them in the periphery of a scene. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to wait for the DVD and then see that person's whole story.
Yeah, I actually don't want to rewatch This Is 40, but I didn't know who Lena Dunham was at the time. I think I took her character for granted. I kind of want to rewatch this. That's why I prefer the Paul Feig directed ones, because I think he's a little tighter with the edits. Not that much. Like, if you watch Bridesmaids, which I love Bridesmaids, but there was still some stuff in there that you could classify as fat, or you could cut some fat there. But still, it was like Tim Heidecker didn't say shit in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I bet he goofed around and maybe even said something funny. But I think Paul Feig realized, like, no, the husband should say nothing in this movie. Like, he'll be as silent as the wife is in Hangover or whatever. All right, but Chris, I gotta know.
You gotta know
what your movie was.
That movie is
Roar. Oh my god! I wish I'd seen that. I was mad. Okay, I was a little mad that you were in my neck of the woods, and I thought it was a date night thing with you and Heidi. But then Grimm was there too. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
I like that when I talked about my crotch flying open. We met up with Grimm, like, oh, we're going to go do this. He's like, you are? I'm in. So it's like we just didn't send an invite out, but mentioned it in front of Grimm. Only Grimm.
Right.
Well, it very rarely happens. But we did all go to see this. That fucking theater, the New Parkway in Oakland, is fantastic. It doesn't have rows of seats as much as it has couches and love seats and incredibly comfortable chairs, giant pitchers of beer.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm also in Oakland, like, I'm hungry. I got to pay to eat. God. $8 for burger, fries, and a drink? What? Fuck San Francisco in the ad. That would be like $23 here. God damn this city. And like, how much is the beer? Everybody gets beer. I'm gonna get an extra pitcher just because. It's $5.
Yeah,
this is
amazing.
Great. So we're at this beautiful theater. Roar, in case you don't know, is a movie. Oh God, did I already forget the dude's name? It doesn't matter. Maybe you saw pictures going around recently of Melanie. Look at these lions in Melanie Griffith's home. Melanie Griffith, God, we were talking about that at Elson's house. What? He's like, who's Melanie Griffith? And I'm like, Jesus, really? Well, what's she from?
You didn't say Mrs. Antonio Banderas.
No, well, it was more like, yeah, what the fuck would he know Melanie Griffith from? This is impossible.
No, that's a tough one. I doubt he's seen Working Girl.
Milk Money was on HBO like every 7 seconds. I love the movie Nobody's Fool.
Nobody's Fool was really
Bonfire,
good.
The Vanities. I'm like, no, you're okay, Elson. I understand.
You
don't know who Melanie Griffith is.
Yeah, she's got the most fame to the least amount of notable work, I think.
Well, she was also
Something
Hollywood.
Wild is the shit, and she's great in it.
She was Hollywood royalty when that mattered.
That's why. Her mother was Tippi Hedren, and she was married to this guy.
She was the star of The Bird.
She's married to this guy, Hal something or other, who produced The Exorcist and one other notable movie that Hedren had starred in. They got married. If you look at the guy's bio, it's like Roar and 4 movies. That is it. So what he clearly made it rich off of like The Exorcist and started adopting lions. And there was pictures going around. Look at young Melanie Griffith and with all these lions in her home, and everybody's like, "Wow, look at that!" Like, no, it turns out her stepdad was a crazy person. And this is also in the middle of like the lion craze brought on by Born Free, the first movie I was ever bored by in elementary school.
Those nature films of the 80s and 70s bored the crap out of me.
They're so boring. But there was like 3 other lion movies released this year. So like lions were huge with rich people. So this guy, the movie is technically bad. It is terrible. It is a story. A guy is living in Africa with 150 untrained lions, tigers, cougars, and an elephant. His family is flying in to see them. His family appears to be running late. He goes to the airport to check on them. The family shows up at the wildlife preserve, and that's the whole movie.
Is this them being attacked?
It's Home Alone with real lion attacks. So it says in the trailer. It's a great trailer. It says like no animals were harmed in the making this movie. 70 members of the crew were, and you can watch it happen. Melanie Griffith required facial reconstructive surgery. She is like mauled on camera. There's like the trailer. I thought they're just giving away all the best parts in the trailer. It happens every 7 seconds. There's like a scene. They're trying to get dialogue. We got to get to the like a fucking fight breaks out between two 500-pound tigers, and
this is what's cut into.
And they're trying to like act around it, and like he's like no. There's a scene where a guy shows up, and the director star, the crazy Exorcist producer guy I'm talking about. I should just look up his name. It's something. He's like no, they're really sweet, and then it literally mauls him on camera until he bleeds.
Wow.
And he. You can just tell, like, can someone just get me a bandage? I'll make this part of the scene. But he's clearly bleeding from a lion attack.
I mean, that's an amazing, like, improv test there. Just like, can you act? Can you improvise when this wild animal attacks you?
I'm curious to see where it came, because it's Alamo Drafthouse, who is amazing. If you haven't seen Miami Connection, I think it's on most streaming services, including Netflix. It's awesome. It's like they basically release semi-found films that have been lost to time. Miami Connection is a real 80s. It is the most 80s movie you've ever seen about a group of rock ninjas who are also in a rock band. Wow. It's really hilarious. I think the ending song to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is from Miami Connection.
Whoa.
It's such a great theme.
It's really good. Friends Forever.
I think we found the closer.
This is a movie from 1981. I think it was kind of a bomb, and it's uncut,
right.
But the world has never heard of it. I don't know how they find movies like this. It is astounding. We're remarking afterwards that it is technically, when you think about it, it's a bad movie, but you are riveted the entire time. It is just a family of a woman and her 4 children trapped in a house that is being a barrage of lions. Constantly. And the coolest thing I've ever seen is like they make even the elephant like less to its own devices. Like she gets in a boat to try and get away. The elephant just tusks through the boat and rams it up against the shoreline and crumples it like tinfoil. It's something I've never seen before in my life. He throws it up in the air and then punts it with his foot. I want a gif of it so bad. Watching an elephant drop kick something, oh
my god!
And so I think the crew was all shooting in cages. The cinematographer is John DeBont, the director of Speed.
Wow.
He lost his scalp to a lion. I believe Tippi Hedren had her leg broken. There's a scene where she's trampled. She's lying down on a log and trampled by 40 lions. Like I don't know how this movie took 11 years to make. I think 4 years alone to shoot because like the director had to keep recovering. Yeah, that's the thing. There's no lawsuits. It's self-financed and it stars this guy and his family. Damn. One of whom happens to be Tippi Hedren and Melanie Griffith.
Well, and you have to imagine like that's the other level to it too. Is that it is this guy's crazy dream, and he is literally like making his family suffer with his stupid dream.
Well, I'm reading about it, and like they were all up on the hype too. Like I think
they were super into it.
Well, it was the 70s, and everybody's kind of a hippie, and like it does have a conservation message. He's here to protect the lion, and it's literally what it was. He's here to protect the lion so they don't get shot, so they don't get poached, so they don't get killed by construction. It's this little commune for lions.
But it just makes lions look scary as hell.
It does. It's like I know I went to a lot of zoos as a kid, and I didn't appreciate the majesty of it. When I was about 19, I went to a zoo in fucking Georgia, Wild Adventures.
Yeah,
it's a water park and a theme park and a zoo, and it's like some of the stuff at the beginning was not quite up to code. So I'm looking at a tiger through what's a chain link fence, and he looks at me and roars, and I feel like I almost shit my pants. Like, like when a tiger roars at your face, it is the scariest thing you'll ever see.
I once got to play with a tiger cub. It was go to this pet shop and you can get a picture with a tiger cub, and they tell you like don't touch him, but you're like, oh, but it's just a big kitty, pet. And then he starts doing what a cat does, a kitten does, which is like, okay, playtime. Claws out. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, really? You saw him like protract and shit?
No, he pulled them out because he was like, well, yeah, it's playtime. Kitty playtime.
And that's most of the movie is like, yeah, you clearly have a rapport with these lions. He's constantly trying to deliver dialogue and break up fights between lions and cougars and jaguars. It's unreal.
Well, because from my limited experience, they are like house cats in a way, except they don't know their own strength. They want to, if they're friendly with you, they might want to play with you the same as a cat would, except they'll fuck you up.
I don't know if there was there even video of the Siegfried and Roy lion attack?
Not that I'm aware of.
And like it wasn't an attack. One of them tripped and looked like he was falling, so the lion ran over to him to pick him up
by the scruff of his neck.
Like a cub, and punctured his throat and sent him it took him like weeks in recovery. But the lion was legitimately trying to help. It was being friendly. Yeah, there's a video going around of a big lion attack in a circus, and it's awesome.
I did see that one.
And just because it was like Quentin Tarantino, the same thing he did for Jews and Slaves with Django, and it's like he made that movie for animals. That's what it felt like.
Man, I wish if it's still playing there, maybe I'll go there on Thursday or something.
One night only, and that's
one night only. That is also what that place does.
It's a very San Francisco thing. I've never lived in another city that did that. Because I know I saw Galaxy Quest like 80 times because the 2 theaters in St. Augustine, which showed the same 2 movies for months. But like Castro, you got one night to catch shit. Yeah. One night.
Oh boy, so. I didn't get to record. You guys did a Roddy Piper episode without me, but I didn't get to record it. So why don't we talk about the Roddy Piper article we did? So Dave and I were both free at the time when the news broke, and
I think the only other thing I'd done that day is watch all of Wet Hot American Summer.
I was starting to watch it, and then I just started the tweets start coming in, and that is where I find out things on Twitter. That's how I found out about Iwata's death. That's how I found out about Dusty Rhodes' death. I just look on Twitter and I'll see somebody just tweet R.I.P. this guy, or I'm so sad about this, and then I saw Roddy Piper. I was like, fuck me.
It was a sad.
So I just can't be that sad about it because I'm just numb to it. Like in the last month, like Dusty Rhodes and Iwata especially really got me. And
I was telling somebody that I remember being a little kid and like mother would be at the Sammy Davis Jr. died, and my dad's like, oh, that's terrible, and I'm like, who? But I remember they'd say that all the time. We're of that age. Everybody we grew up watching is now an elderly person.
Yeah, that's what I realize now. Why my parents got more sad when just pull one out of here, like Frank Sinatra, Frank Sinatra died. And I was like, neither of you guys care about Frank Sinatra. I've never heard my parents play a Frank Sinatra thing, but now I see it is really just saying like, this person I grew up with is now dead, and so
cultural
more
cornerstone. This celebrity I could set my watch by is now gone.
That era of my life is now gone again, and this keeps happening. And there's fewer and fewer alive from when I was a child.
And that's the reality with Roddy Piper, that this will continue to happen.
Oh yeah,
and exponentially more.
Yeah,
as we move forward.
I felt bad because I didn't bring it up on the episode of Cheap Podcast that's on Laser Time right now. I met him and I interviewed him.
Yes,
yeah,
I was standing right next to him. Man. Me and Shane Patterson were standing right next to him while he did it.
So
we didn't interview Roddy because honestly, I was kind of afraid.
He's scared. Like I wrote on Twitter that it's like it was the funnest, but also the scariest interview I ever had.
Was he just?
So what happened was
Was he on brand?
He was on.
He was not control Roddy Piper when he was on brand.
So what happened was it started with this question that I asked everybody, which was like,
by the way, this was for Legends of WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the question was like, who is the person who would most want to have a WrestleMania match with now? And he was like, myself.
Younger me.
And just like he started to get on me because I rattled off like 2 or 3 stock questions in a row because I was doing video and I wanted to make sure like everyone's answering the same question so we can cut them all together.
Sure.
And I think he got angry at those questions and just started to like. He was like, "Now I'm going to ask you some questions. What do you think about these questions?" And I'm like, "Sorry, Mr. Piper. I think your match with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 8 was so great." And then like I think at that point I kind of won him back a little because I think he thought that I didn't know anything about wrestling. Was just like saying garbage questions. They were kind of garbage questions, but
not to get too morbid. But on that same day was when I interviewed Dusty Rhodes, and I felt the same thing of just like Dusty thinks I'm just some asshole from like some nerd from Berkeley who's never heard of him before, and I really had heard of it. But,
it's JTG we hadn't heard of.
Yeah, JTG. I didn't give two shits about JTG, but when Tommy Dreamer showed up, I was like, fuck yeah, Tommy Dreamer's here.
I'm guessing that's partially because, like, unlike a lot of other entertainers or celebrities, I do see the YouTube videos of, like, snide comments from, like, CM Punk to just people doing interviews, but I would guess, wouldn't you say they do more interviews than like any other kind of entertainer? It's part of what they do when they go to town.
Well, and in WWE, especially, like, you're on media days a lot, and then you have to wrestle
just media
that night.
day, and then they have like all those fucking, now they have those clip packages of like.
But you also have to
interviews.
be, and you also have to be consistent to your character too. So you're not even really yourself, though Daniel Bryan is, and then. But yeah, I remember watching that, and when Roddy was grilling you back, I was like, I didn't know it was I didn't know this was Dave Rudden, who will someday be my business partner and friend. But I was just thinking, man, Roddy's being tough on this guy. 'Cause I had also heard on that, like right before those interviews came in, I had heard somebody else say, like, oh yeah, we were in this round table with Roddy the day before, and he actually started crying because he was talking about how sad he was for all the legends that weren't here and all the guys on the road that we never even heard of that killed themselves for this profession. I was like, boy, that sounds heavy. I really don't feel like interviewing Roddy today.
You want to talk heavy?
Like he's in a good mood.
I keep saying it everywhere, but like growing up, I think I was in on wrestling for what it was, but like Roddy Piper fucking terrified me. I hated him. Like, how can a person be this mean? I legitimately rooted for him to be beat up. I did not root for the bad guy. I didn't know how to do that, and he so fucking scared me.
Yeah,
as a kid,
he scared me too. I loved his. In retrospect, I love his shirt with the cat on it. Just the cat face.
Black cat?
The black cat. You don't see that as much as his classic Hot Rod shirt. I mean, that's the cooler shirt.
I really wish I would have bought one before. No, I'd said it to you guys. I was threatening to buy one of those shirts. I just didn't want to do it to the WWE store for like $50.
But so also, I was more prepared for Roddy to pass away than Dusty, which is weird because they both didn't seem all in that good health. But every story I heard of Roddy was like drugs or drinking or just living his life at 100 miles per hour. Plus, a while ago, he got like his first cancer scare.
Yeah.
Like he had cancer in his leg or something, had to be removed. Like he hadn't been in good shape for a very long time. And so him living this long, I was kind of shocked. Like I think it's morbid in retrospect, but I made jokes about how they did that Legends House show, and they sat on it for a year. I thought that is one of the riskiest things ever. You have all these old wrestlers in the same house, and you wait a year, and like they are so lucky none of them died in that year they waited.
I love him, and I tried listening to his podcast, and it was really hard.
Yes,
Little Dottering.
Yeah, because he's
still enthusiastic, and I know he survived a pretty traumatic car accident. I think like 10 years ago.
Well, and so what I loved about Roddy, and I mentioned it in my write up of They Live. So They Live is just an incredible movie anyway. Like, and it is one of my favorite examples of how a genre film can be. It's a lot like Pulp Fiction, the movie, because it can have all this exploitation shit in it, but actually be about something. Yeah. And this film They Live is about Reaganomics and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer.
It's
and
ham-fisted
America
as shit,
being
but
broken.
it's everything I feel. If I have a political stance, it's They Live.
I mean, it's still kind of relevant today.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And Roddy's just talking about, like, I believe in America, man. And you shouldn't, Roddy. You realize, and then you put on your glasses, and you realize it's all a fucking joke. And the aliens have been tricking you this whole time to work like a dog for nothing.
Yeah.
And
has anybody ever seen Hell Comes to Frogtown?
That is ridiculous. I had never really watched it until this weekend. That film is ridiculous. It is the most ridiculous thing ever, but I love it. But
I'm just seeing the end of the plot: capture a group of fertile women and that are using them as sex slaves.
Someone said it's a lot like Mad Max, the new one.
It is actually very much like Mad Max. Yeah, actually, well, I'll just say this real quick. Little Deuce told us, like, you guys should have mentioned Hell Comes to Frogtown because it's amazing. But anyway, real quick about They Live. So it's amazing. It's got the greatest fight scene ever, but there's a little scene very few people talk about that I feel is very real for Roddy, where he talks about, like, there's no reason for Nada's character. That's his character's name. I forgot.
He doesn't have a name.
His name. Like, I think he's credited as Nada.
Yeah, his name is never said.
But he's telling a story about, like, how horrible his father was to him, and that his father took him to, like, by the river and held a knife to his throat to see if he'd cry. And I was like, you hear Roddy talks about how he he ran away from home at like 13, and was a drifter and became a wrestler at 15. And like he says, wrestling saved his life. So when I hear that, I'm like, I think that's a real story and what really happened to him. And then I also read Jake the Snake was saying that him and Roddy really commiserated because they both had horrible childhoods, and so it was kind of a bummer. But I also read this hilarious story from Roddy that always thought of him from Ric Flair's book. Ric Flair and him were great friends too, and they would travel all the time. And they tell this story about going down to, let's just say south of the border. I forget which place they went, but they went there to perform.
It's all Mexico, baby.
And they just get paid in cash, but Rick gets paid in cash. Roddy gets paid in a big mason jar of cocaine.
Jesus.
Wow.
And he is just doing the cocaine. He's like, we should do this everywhere, Rick. You get the cash, I get the coke.
Yeah.
And just,
You're buying the drinks.
There are one or two interview clips. I didn't put them in the episode because he wasn't really talking about anything in particular that I wanted to share. But like in between him like ranting, he would just go like he would literally. And I'm like, wow,
he was nasal in a very specific way too.
Yeah.
But there were other good quotes too. Yeah, that like so Tenga says that that as a big John Carpenter fan, this passing hit them harder than Dusty did.
It did. This hit me like worse than Dusty and Iwata. Like Dusty because I didn't follow. Like I only followed him for his 2 years in
the
WWF.
polka dot years.
Yeah, and Iwata like I feel like everybody else was more in mourning than me. Like I was a little bit sad, but I was like, you know it. When I was out, I was at OXM for well over 2 years and not paying any attention to Nintendo. Yeah. Never really watched Nintendo Directs, so like I know him as the president of Nintendo has put them on the right path in terms of their business. But I'm like, I think if Miyamoto died, that really hit me hard. But for some reason, Iwata is just like,
the most outpouring of support people will give an executive dying ever again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, Roddy Piper. It's like, this is a guy that he interviewed. This is a guy whose career, almost his entire WWF career coincided with me watching WWF.
Yeah.
So
that's where I came into it, and I feel like I've said this on like 9 other shows. I solidified myself watching WWF with Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling because
which is taken off the network apparently.
Yeah,
currently.
Really?
Yep.
Isn't it odd that Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper die in the same week?
No.
I saw Hulk actually posted pics of him at some sports convention with Mike Tyson, just saying I needed this got my mind off of the bad days, brother. I was like. Yeah. Are you just going to take a pic with every black guy that likes you and just to be like, see, I'm not black friends, black friends.
R.I.P. Hulkster.
There was another good one. Little Deuce Deuce also said I had no idea until today that Roddy was Canadian. Is actually from the same province as me, Saskatchewan. Wow. So. Yep. And that he thought his family is from Scotland, I believe, the Toombs family, but. Yeah, and that he is he considered himself related to the Hart family, and he was definitely close to the Hart family.
Though trained with his dad.
Yeah, he was trained by him. But and also Stabby Joe says another one. I literally just replayed that level in Saints Row 4.
Is he in that too?
There's actually they reenact the They Live fight scene because
nice. Keith
David both plays himself in the game and the character he played in previous Saints Row games, and they have to hunt down Keith David because also in Saints Row 4 you're in an alien fake world, and so Roddy Piper is helping break down this alien fake world with Keith David and the boss as well, and
motherfucker.
It is
Not
great.
This year.
I watched it again, just hearing when he catches Roddy's attempted punch to his balls. He's like, "You motherfucker! No, you dirty motherfucker!" Love
Better crawl into some hole. Hope nobody ever finds you.
Gonna start eating the trash.
2 weeks paid.
Put on the glasses. Not this year.
Not this year.
God, I love it.
I want to reply to somebody. Somebody asked me to do something. Not this year.
Not this year. But yeah, those are my favorite ones to that. Let me.
I just have a shitload of comments to go through. For,
the camp.
The summer camp
so
stories.
Many.
Again, thank you for the understanding about the audio. Or even someone posted like, I don't remember saying, "Oh shit, what's happening to the soundboard?" And it looks like it was an unrecoverable thing. Sorry, the show went out like that. I still think it's digestible. And then I put up an even weirder show this week. Man, really fucking up.
But not in terms of like.
No, there's no audio errors. It's just fucking weird. We try and talk about villains hypothetically for a second, and then go through Brett's '90s playlist folder. It's weird, but it was fun, right? I think.
Yeah. But it's something that we could do easily sequelize, because I think we only got to 1993.
yeah. Well, we got something planned there. But on summer camp stories, we asked people to share their summer camp stories. And I grabbed a couple, obviously. Baka is Dumb says, as a sleepaway camp counselor, I have so many stories. Like the time when sriracha sauces took the form of currency, kind of like cigarettes in prison. The silent lunches where we forced kids to be silent for an entire hour. It was bliss. Yeah. Or maybe the time when, shortly after the campers left, the entire staff got together to drink and watch Wet Hot American Summer. My favorite experience, though, was having all of the Israeli counselors, I worked at a Jewish sleepaway camp, wear their IDF uniforms and force campers to go through boot camp.
Whoa,
Jesus Christ.
I
watched from the sidelines, ate ice cream, and just had the best time. This was at 4 a.m. As a camper, I have a bunch of stories, but this was, the supervisor was a great experience.
So it's even more like Wet Hot because they were all Jewish.
Gun Cannon
That was great at the end of Wet Hot, where you find they're saying all their last names and they're the Jewish last names ever.
Janine Garofalo reading on Dr. Jaime. Yeah.
Gun Cannon D said, I went to a week-long summer camp when I was a preteen. They were run by Mennonites, even though I'm not a Catholic. So one time my counselor freaked out at me because I mentioned the Pope. How dare you insult the Mennonite brethren? Another time they had a traveling preacher come by, and he told us that we had to decide that day to commit to Christ for the rest of our lives. And if we didn't commit that day, we'd likely go to hell. Without a parent to talk to, got way more serious than I expected. But the camp had a nice pool, so it wasn't all bad.
Jesus Camp is one of the most terrifying films I've ever seen.
It is. Well, I mean, that was sort of my stories. I kind of went to like a light version of that. It a little, I mean, I was already going to church and stuff. My grandparents are super religious, but like it was, it was the most fun camp in the universe with light indoctrination.
That witnessing shit is like intense, man. It is. Yeah.
I'm Alive OMG says, ever since I was 6 or so, I had the reputation of being very smart, really funny, and as a violent shit who could actually fight. So none of my experience in school or camp were ever very bad, since I had almost free reign to join any clique I wanted to, and nobody would dare touch me.
Damn.
I hope that sounds. Can we be friends? Like, I need someone stronger than me to be friends with. The only bad camp experience I had was also the last time I went to camp, where every single night I was there, I would shit myself. A lot. I was incredibly lucky that they merged the toilet and the shower room was kept open during the night, which became sort of a home for me over the next week. Eventually, I got fed up and simply called my parents and went home for a few days. Even though everybody stands by the idea that it was caused by anxiety, I still say that it was the water there that did it to me. Since I felt completely comfortable the whole time. Having been to Mexico and Puerto Rico over the last couple of years, yeah, it's definitely the water.
Yeah, sometimes the water can really get you in those places.
It's definitely. I remember I had to eat a bunch of that, like, I'm going to call it the wrong thing, bacteria yogurt to counteract what was happening in my stomach.
Probiotic.
It instantly worked. And I'm like, but I was losing all this weight and instantly shitting every time I ate stuff. I missed this now.
Florida water does that to me.
So regular.
Or Jacksonville, Florida water does that to me.
I actually got a reply on Twitter about that episode.
Ooh.
GazDog10 on Twitter replied me and said, I'm 25 minutes into this week's Laser Time podcast and you have not referenced Camp Krusty or said Mr. Black.
Mr. Black.
I'm concerned. Yeah, I think the reasoning is that
he just wanted movies.
Yeah, it was like Michael didn't make that episode. He I think he was doing Retronauts and then showed up after that for other stuff. But I felt bad because I was like, I'll probably bring up what's the other Camp Deadly.
Oh yeah,
and because Michael has this story about
hurting himself
on rebar or something. I forget exactly.
Remember.
And like he when he was recovering, all he did was play Camp Deadly, and he was I think this was in Spain or Mexico.
It was. I think it's on the last episode of T-Dar.
Maybe.
Is it?
I don't know. I really blocked. I have no memories of that other than when I posted it. I used a picture. I just remember using a picture of the bad universe, or the darkest timeline from that recent episode. Recent episode
you knew
of
it was
Community.
over?
No, we just talked about it a little bit. And I was like, oh, this is funny to use this one, and then I realized like, no, we are in the worst timeline. Like,
not so much. We're not chained to a stupid organization and doing.
I'm
what we
saying
like.
for that 2-year period, and especially that next week when we stopped doing Talk Radar. That was the darkest timeline. End of story. All
right. Dan Marr says the closest I ever came to experiencing camp was band camp, which is only a 2-week ordeal and only required us to be driven to the high school in the morning and then get picked up at noon. Even though the marching portion was in the morning, being from the deep south, it was incredibly humid and not pleasant at all. My camp movies have to be heavyweights. Everybody. He says even though it's more of a boot camp movie.
Yeah.
And Keegan says, not really sure why, but one summer I went to a Jewish summer camp, and I'm not Jewish. I'm not sure if my parents were confused, but it seemed like an odd choice. I remember not knowing a bunch of Jewish traditions, etc., and the other kids being like, fucking Gentile, though they never said it out loud. I hate, and still do hate, shared washrooms and being dirty. Even as a kid, that grossed me out. Nothing about camp was appealing to me. All I want to do is go home and play video games and eat hot dogs. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, well, that's my comments. Oh, wait, I'll read Hasidic Muse. It's his first comments. I've been a fan for years. I even still have the stickers and the book I won from the worst saddle game. For 2 summers, I spent 6 weeks at a woodcraft camp at Culver Military Academy, a posh, snobby boarding school I didn't go to in Indiana. I think I've heard of it. The amount of dumb stories I have from that place could fill a book, so I'm going to give you the highlights, starting with the strangest story. I was lying on my bunk reading an article about Floyd Brothers in some magazine.
Wow.
Yeah, there are a few other people in the cabin, but most of the group was gone. It was then that I heard the distinct cry of someone being sodomized with a golf club. I looked to see what was going on, and I saw that what I saw scars me to this day. Needless to say, I disapproved of their inappropriate use of sports equipment, and I was a shitty kid, so I blackmailed them for my silence, and then immediately turned on them once I became bored.
Give me a copy of Floyd Brothers.
Honestly, I would have been scared that I would then get the same treatment if I tried to blackmail those people.
I almost want to hear more. Other highlights include crashing a small sailboat into a huge replica 19th century era warship and being sunburned to the point where I was hospitalized in their 1940s looking infirmary for a week. All in all, good times.
Wow. I wasn't on that episode, but I never went to summer camp. But I did do day camp at a YMCA 2 years in a row, and that was the worst because it was cheaper, and that might have been why we ended up going there. My parents
it was cheap. That's where I went.
Yeah, but because it was cheap, you also got like the redneck, like white trash. The white trash kids are just the poor kids who didn't come from great homes and would sometimes express that anger on other kids back at them, and maybe sometimes steal their things or beat them up and bully them. Though, shockingly, at the same time, by the end of it, I got in like this kind of like, I realized maybe what I'd be like in prison, which I was just like a super pack rack of like, gotta keep watching my bag, keep checking the bag. But it was also that same summer, I got super into comic books, the most I ever did, because I think it was partially because it was the summer of 92 or 93 where Image was the most popular thing in the world, and one of our counselors like was super into Image comics, and he'd bring in stuff like, oh man, you reading that Spider-Man stuff? That's cool, but look at Spawn, that's blood everywhere, and that cyborg guy, that's so cool, right? And I was like, damn, comics are great.
That was a traumatic memory. I went to a camp, and it built itself as like this portion of the camp. It was at a place I would eventually go to for high school and be kicked out of, but it was as a kid, and it built itself as a comics camp. Oh. And we get there, and there's like nothing to do with comics, and like eventually we started complaining like, well, all right, bring your Marvel cards. And I love my Marvel card collection. I had everything except the Wolverine hologram 1 of 5, I believe. I did not have the third and Wolverine hologram, and I had them all in a binder with my doubles and all that stuff. And we just brought my bag in. We left it in the lunchroom like we always did, and they all got stolen. I'm like, you lied to me to get me to a comic camp that stole all my comic shit. Everybody should have their money refunded.
But they don't give a shit if your stuff.
I was so sad because I kind of knew who did it, and I couldn't do anything about it, and I couldn't prove it. It was I don't know why I was really devastated over that. It was super depressing.
So I have a few comments from the ranked list I made last week.
Oh, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, ranking all of his friends. Zap Rousdower said, "Oh my God, this is why we need laser time. Fucking great list, DDR." Sega Galactico said, "These are the power rankings that matter." And Sotenga has a lengthier one where they say, "Excellent list, though it made me realize that none of the regulars from Pee-wee's Playhouse show up in the film."
Nope.
Actually, most of them do as cameos.
Well, they do, and Captain Carl is there at the very end.
Yeah, Jambi is the high-voiced knight when Pee-wee first gets to the Warner Brothers lot.
Yeah.
He comes across this guy, asks him where they're filming the bike movie, and then he has a high voice. Then he asks a showgirl as a low voice. That the knight is Jambi.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Me neither.
There's another one.
High?
Yeah, there's someone else who. Miss Yvonne is Mother Superior.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No idea.
Yep. Okay, so going on. Sotangas says, "Granted, the film is perfection and it was doing its own thing, but it would have been nice for Lawrence Fishburne to at least show up in a cameo." This is actually before Pee-wee's Playhouse was on TV.
Yeah.
So they hadn't cast Cowboy Carl yet.
Yeah, I think so. Also, an awesome fact I learned just today: the lady from the Satan's Helpers gang, that's Elvira. Cassandra
really?
freaking Peterson.
Wow.
This leads me to a possible Laser Time episode suggestion: actors in unrecognizable roles or cameos. I'm drawing a blank for other examples right now, except for maybe Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
That was great.
Yeah. Boy, when the credits popped up at the end,
fucking awesome, man.
That was... I think I realized maybe...
Every time you want to hate Tom
end,
Cruise for being a Scientologist, just think of the credits to Tropic Thunder.
He seems like such a cool guy, except for the Scientology stuff. That's the one thing.
Everybody's got their head in something
Oh,
like
and you
that.
also commented, Chris, mentioning that the person I chose for last, you
He
would have
been
as first.
He should have been first.
He's not a good friend, though. I was judging them on the basis of them being friends.
Are you
with
kidding?
Pee-wee.
He showed up to Pee-wee's little
Yeah,
thing.
and
Like,
he
that's a
interrupted
good
his
friend.
meeting.
Maybe he had a lead. We don't even know because Pee-wee just shouted him down, and he has the coolest hair. His name's Amazing Larry, and he looks like he's in his late 50s and is best friends with this man-child. I love Amazing Larry.
Well, there were a couple comments on this week's Cape Crisis that weren't about the subject, which got out of date by this weekend. Of like, I asked people, "Oh, who'd you cast as Gambit since Channing Tatum left?" And Channing Tatum has now been confirmed that he's done.
I hope I called it. Did I call it?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think in the end, it was just like public bartering of just him saying like, "Hey, leak to people that I left." But anyway. First off, Hitler Me This Batman said that, GameStop is doing the same thing Barnes & Noble is doing, because you talked about how GameStop is now a toy store.
Yeah.
They're becoming toy stores and setting up pop figurines and shirts more than games and books because you can't pirate an action figure.
Not yet. When I get that 3D printer, I'll watch.
I work at B&N, and it sucks to see the place turn into a Batman figure store.
Weird.
I
mean, I have to believe you because I haven't been in one in years.
Yeah.
You
can't read a Batman figure on the couch in a Barnes & Noble for 40 minutes.
You just admire it.
So two different people, Otter Pop Afterbirth and...
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah. And I could go for an Otter Pop right now. And Tom SJ3 says that they wish I hadn't cut you off on Punk Rock Jesus because you barely got to talk about it. And I apologize for that, but people want to hear more on the Dave's Homework segment. But I think we will talk a bit more about Southern Bastards.
I already finished it.
It's a quick read. It's a
great
quick read. Yeah. And
I wish I was Dave right now for some reason.
you wish everything was new again.
Yeah.
Want to be a baby.
I want to be a baby.
And also, I got this from a couple people. So I wrote up about the that really cool Miyazaki tribute that somebody made.
That kind of made me cry.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why. That was really good.
But people thought, Smars and other people pointed out of just like, you can't have a header like this, which is like, hey, this Miyazaki tribute might make you cry. And it says, you can't have a header like that and not give people heart attacks thinking Miyazaki has died. I mean, I know one day...
Well, what do you think? We're going to post a video of Miyazaki's death?
No, I know, but it's like...
Watch this and cry.
I mean, he is going to die someday. He's like 74 and retired from... apparently, he is working on a 3D short, which... I can't. I guess we better schedule another trip to Tokyo to go watch it.
And what I love about this, if I've never said that anywhere else, my girlfriend is the best. She's awesome and it puts up with everything I like. Goes to see every Marvel movie, even though like she doesn't hate them. She just like, I don't care at all about these things. The only thing she got dorky about recently was Ghibli. she's the opposite of me. Doesn't buy action figures, doesn't buy DVDs, rarely gets excited. Like, she was excited about Roar, for example.
Oh yeah,
big dumb animal movie. But seeing her nerdy about Ghibli just brings so much joy to my heart. And last week they announced that Blu-ray set.
Yeah.
So whoever was here, I was like, Grim. The first thing I see,
you told me not to tell her.
I told you not to tell her. I see Grim, and it's like the first thing he mentions to me. You see that Ghibli set? I'm like, fuck yeah, I did. Do not mention this in front of Heidi. I'm gonna kill it. Kill it. If we can keep this away from her, I'm gonna kill it this Christmas. And for 4 days, I swear, pins and needles. And then she eventually.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always want to assume she's not that connected.
It annoyed me because I had celebratory tweets, which is stupid because it's just like, I bought something, but within a week I got the Blu-ray for Spirited Away and I got the Blu-ray for Castle Cagliostro. I was so happy. I was like, I finally have Blu-rays of every Miyazaki directed film. Not every Ghibli film, the most Ghibli films, but every Miyazaki directed film. And then this comes out, and it is a so much better set.
Yeah.
Like, it is clearly they are just copying a Japanese set that exists. Like, I don't think an American company would design one that good.
Having gone there now, like, Ghibli's making a 3D movie that's going to be exclusively shown in that Ghibli museum. They have a video up on Laser Time YouTube channel, and he's made a number of films that you cannot see anywhere in the universe except by going there in person.
I mean, that Tamago Hime to Mr. Pan, like, that was great.
They're so weird, and I always wondered, like, why isn't this available digitally? Why is this so expensive? Why do these take so long to come here? And it's because, like, they do whatever they want, and Americans aren't allowed to have better sets or less costly sets than what they're going to charge Japan, and those Blu-rays are $40. Pure and simple in Japan.
Yeah, and if you got to wait a year and a half to sell it for $25 in America.
The prices have never gone down. They're finally going down on the Blu-rays.
They finally went down to $17, which is still a pretty high price for a Blu-ray in America, where nobody wants to own anything.
For a 20-year-old film.
Yeah,
you can't watch them. You can't watch this digitally. What the fuck?
It was weird to see Ponyo was on Netflix very briefly. I think because they had like a Disney deal with stars.
I guarantee they heard about that and put a stop to it.
Yeah, Miyazaki was like, streaming, what? Get this off right now.
But how did they have the Lupin movie in the set?
Yeah, they must have made a deal with whoever. Like, so the Lupin.
That is weird, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's all these Disney films and then Lupin. I think Disney or whoever. Maybe that's also why it's Amazon exclusive, because they couldn't make a deal with a bunch of distributors, but they must have made a deal with whoever it is that put out the Blu-ray of that, because
what's
it
the
wasn't
story there
Disney.
before Ghibli was full Ghibli.
Well, they made Nausicaa. Nausicaa is technically a Ghibli movie after the fact. He put together his team of animators, and once Nausicaa was so successful, then they could make Ghibli and keep making films together. But meanwhile, before that, in '78, he was just the top dude who was kind of like this big freelancer you'd hire anywhere to animate your thing. He'd worked at this company, TMS, who did some of the best animation you've ever seen, and they're still doing stuff. Like, they animated the best animated episodes of Batman the animated series. That was TMS.
And there's some connection to the Rankin Bass Christmas specials.
Yeah, they did a few of those too.
Those were actually done in Japan by Ghibli animators.
But anyway, so TMS had worked on the Lupin films, and they were wanting to make the second Lupin film. And so they thought, well, let's get this guy. He animated the best episodes of Lupin. Let's just let him make a whole damn movie. And so TMS made it. TMS sort of owns the rights to it, and TMS also worked with Miyazaki on the Sherlock Hound show. If you ever watched Sherlock Hound as a kid,
no.
It was on Nickelodeon occasionally, as I recall. Yeah, you can watch TMS.
Oh God,
TMS fully owns Sherlock Hound, so you can watch DVD quality transfers of it on YouTube, from TMS, totally legal. Sherlock Hound is great. The first 6 episodes of Sherlock Hound are all Miyazaki, and they look just like a Miyazaki film. But anyway, so yeah, the Lupin films have always been a separate deal from the Miyazaki films, so they must have just made a deal of like, look, let us just distribute this together.
Or maybe it's an Amazon exclusive because Amazon is literally sticking the Lupin DVD inside.
Maybe. But yeah, I have pre-ordered it. I am considering just selling my Blu-rays in October and just buying it for the...
It's expensive.
It's $225 right
insane.
now. Well, For 11 discs, that's basically 20.
And if maybe
$20
they had
a disc,
pay a little money out for the rights to stuff because it's like some of his original TV pilots.
There's a couple of extras on there that I'd never heard about before. Plus an amazing booklet, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like I really want that."
No, so, I mean, I think I'm gonna have to spring for it.
But I think I can sell those Blu-rays for probably $15 a piece. On
and I don't buy anything on Blu-ray except for animation for the most part now.
Yeah, I've heard like you got to see that perfect transfer, like even streaming, and like again, like we said, Miyazaki stuff won't be on there. And, I think that's all the comments for me.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up because we have to get to streaming our Monday night movie. If there's your inside baseball portion of
Fantastic
when we're doing this.
Four time.
Why did we do this? Why did we do this to people ourselves?
Because some people have forgotten, but there's a Fantastic Four movie coming out.
I wish we didn't just stack two technically bad movies in a row.
Yeah, I think that's the killer.
That was a bummer.
I guess we'll.
And next week they get to choose, but I say all the choices that we give them are good movies.
Well, we'll see.
I think Hell Comes to Frogtown should be one. It's all on YouTube.
Or They Live, or Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yeah. Let's do this right, people.
Okay.
I'm gonna post. There'll be a Patreon post. Be sure to vote with your comment. People who donate over the $10 tier are going to be able to pick this. And let's do something interesting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, thank you so much for being a patron. Tell a friend, maybe. Thank you for going to LaserTimePodcast.com. Thanks for doing. And thanks for making. I don't know. Like I'm gonna say it again. I was really not looking forward to Star Wars Episode 1, and the entire thing was a good experience wall to wall. I'm just giggling and laughing. You guys were on fire. The commenters were on fire. It's awesome. It's a great way to watch a movie.
And this week, Johnny Storm's going to be on.
See the shadow of the eagle in the sunrise. Hear the music of the children in the moonrise. Feel the power of the lion when he roars like thunder.